it's white. Bit of an issue. He's not gonna like this. So really good news today. Really good news. The Strollworks app, our new app, has been approved by the App Store today. So it hasn't been published yet, but it's approved. So really happy. Tucker and Adam have been designing it and building it for the past months, and it's going to be so much better than the one we had before. Stoked. So I'm back in Whitefish at home. That's our new office, by the way, just behind. It's been a pretty wild couple of weeks. Yeah, I've been gone for almost a month, and I want to try to catch up with you the best I can. But anyways, I was in Iceland shooting a new workshop with Mr. Benjamin Hardman, which is a good friend. He's been a good friend for a couple of years now, 3 I think, ever since we started hanging out in Iceland. Yeah, we connected through Iceland. He knows the spot. So yeah, this new workshop is going to talk about how he does what he does. How does he achieve his style? He's got a really unique way to isolate subjects, I think, that applies, not just beyond snowy, cold landscapes, but anywhere pretty much. Because this is always the challenge for a photographer, is how do you isolate your subject? But anyways, he really knows the spot. Like, he knows Iceland inside and out, and he's always keen to explore. Like, he doesn't get lazy or settled. He's always like out there, every week. And I wish I could do more of that here in Montana. He's really inspired me to go out and shoot more in my own backyard. Let me tell you about Slovenia. I love Slovenia. Went this summer there to see all the crazy alpine bivouacs they have, like little mountain huts, and it was so cool. I loved it so much, so I went back again this month to make a ski trip, a 7-day ski trip over the Julian Alps and some of the Kamenik Alps, the 2 mountain ranges there. We went and see the same places we saw in the summer, mostly. I wanted to go back and see the bivouacs in the winter. But yeah, overall it's been a pretty crazy couple of weeks, and I feel like I've left some projects unattended, so now it's time to check in on them and finish them up. Like this illustration collaboration I have going on with a good friend of mine here. It's about a photo that I shot in Chamonix. Let me tell you about that.
I approached Alex, actually. I had, followed him, learned about him through Instagram, and then literally just broached the idea of, it would be neat to collaborate on a project where I interpret your photography.
After a bit of looking, we settled on a photo of sunrise in Chamonix.
Anything I create, I do truly try to create an iconic piece that will be relevant today, it'll be relevant in 20 years and in 50 years.
He kind of started to work, and we've gone through 365 days plus of feedback.
That process changed it quite a bit. It pulled emphasis away from a lot of the little details and highlighted the larger themes at work. I think we're both proud of the collaborative effort. We're very happy with the piece. This sets the stage for the series.
I am going to answer some questions from Max Kiribarda from Waypost Creative. He sent a really nice email, quite long. So I'm going to try to address his questions as efficiently as I can. And are all or most of your commercial photo projects using this method of creating a complete story, or do something brands just say? Paraphrasing, hey, we just need you to take this car and take some epic shots in Wales, etc. What do you see the most of, or do you only accept jobs that are more story based? Depends how much you need the job. If you only want to do story based jobs, power to you, right? But if you need to make the income, you gotta sustain your family or your studio. You don't get to choose all the time. But what you can do though is steer the clients towards what you want, which is, hey guys, this looks good. I think we can improve it, by weaving a bit more storytelling into it. Most of the time they're pretty late into the stages, so might be tough. But at the end of the day, what matters is that you either do the job because you need it, or you do the job because it's fun, but it's gotta be one of the reasons, right? Otherwise, don't do it. Question number 2. Oh man, it's a long one. If you're shooting with the story model for a client, which I imagine you almost always are, not always, what kind of deliverables do you typically provide? Typically, there is a film, that's a minute at least. There's some social media cut downs, 30 seconds, 15 seconds for the brands they can use on YouTube, Insta stories. And then there is a BTS YouTube vlog usually about the project. And then there is, 15 to 20 photos for the client to choose from. And then there's about 5 they can use commercially. That's for like traditional, commercial projects. I would imagine maybe you also provide some alternate shots from the same scene in case they have a specific need for a shot from X or Y scene. For example, let's say they want a different shot from the beach unloading scene because they're going to use it with a title blocks next to it. Yes, I'm always shooting many options for every scene if I can. And that's if it's a commercial job. If it's, the job is driving everything, then yes, I'm gonna shoot many angles. I might have a second shooter getting more angles just in case, and I'll give the client options because they will need them. If it is a if it is a project where the story drives everything, then I might not have that luxury because we might be doing something that's difficult or somewhere remote, and then I don't have the luxury of time, and I'm also trying to keep up with somebody who's doing something, whether it be a skier or whatever, somebody who's trying to do what they're trying to do, and they are driving the project. I'm just following and documenting it. So different options. Lastly, I was wondering if you have any advice for trying to pitch this kind of work to smaller clients who may not run individual marketing campaigns or may not have a place to showcase that kind of work, like a blog section on their site. For example, I was pitching an idea to this motorcycle brand because the North American HQ is only 1 hour from my house in Chicago. Okay, this is he's describing the story he wanted to pitch. More text. I think Max is asking, can you pitch stories to smaller brands? And then will that take you to bigger brands? So yes and yes. You can pitch stories to smaller brands because everybody needs stories. I think we're all wired to believe in things and to, hear about things that are told in an interesting way. So you can pitch a story to a local brewery. It could be whatever you want. It could be the way they make the beer, or where does the founder like to go in the weekends. It doesn't matter, just pitching a story to them. You just have to come up with it. And then you can take it to them. And if you're able to, to sell what's the benefit for them to run this story, you should be good. You might have to do a couple, but I would try not to do volume, not go see every brewery in town, for example, but just go see the one you really like. It's got to come from you, from within. It's got to be really personal, at least for me. If I'm going to pitch a client, it has to be personal. I'm not going to pitch brands that I don't use or I just don't believe in. I think that's it. That's the end of the Q&A. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you like this video. Make sure to subscribe because there is more coming every Friday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time US. So whatever that is in Europe, that'd be middle of the night, so you can see it in the morning. I'm just really enjoying this, and thanks. Feel free to send more questions to, you can find the email on my website to cover on this. I'll try to answer them at the end of most videos. Bye.
Eyes wide open, take it all in, the heart.